Carl Jung noticed that not all dreams carry the same psychological weight, and he found this distinction already clearly understood by traditional peoples long before modern psychology existed to explain why. Certain traditional cultures, he observed, drew a sharp and meaningful line between two entirely different categories of dream experience. There were the ordinary, forgettable dreams of everyday personal life, and then there were what these cultures called big dreams, a rare and entirely different category of dream experience that carried a weight, a strangeness, and a significance that set them apart from anything an ordinary night's sleep normally produced. Jung observed that these traditional peoples often treated their big dreams as genuinely precious secrets, guarding them carefully rather than sharing them casually, understanding intuitively that these particular dreams carried something the ordinary dreams of daily life did not. And Jung, studying the actual content and psychological structure of these big dreams across many different reports, came to agree entirely with this ancient intuition. He believed that big dreams genuinely did differ from ordinary personal dreams, not simply in their emotional intensity, but in their actual source within the human psyche. Ordinary dreams, Jung observed, typically arise from what he called the personal unconscious, the layer of the mind containing a person's own individual memories, conflicts, and daily concerns, material that is genuinely important for understanding that particular individual's specific situation, but that rarely reaches beyond the boundaries of their own personal life and personal history. Big dreams, by contrast, seem to Jung to arise from a much deeper layer of the psyche entirely, the collective unconscious, that impersonal and universally shared foundation of the human mind, containing patterns and images common to all humanity rather than to any single individual's private history alone. This deeper origin, Jung believed, explained the genuinely distinctive qualities that traditional peoples had already noticed in their own big dreams long before any psychological theory existed to explain why. These dreams tend to carry an unmistakable quality of remarkable beauty, or alternatively of genuinely demoniacal horror, or of an enigmatic wisdom that feels, to the dreamer, considerably older and considerably larger than anything their own ordinary daily concerns could possibly have produced. A big dream often features imagery that feels mythological in scale, cosmic events, ancient figures, symbols. The dreamer has no conscious familiarity with, and an overall atmosphere of profound significance that stays with the dreamer for years, sometimes for an entire lifetime, in a way that ordinary dreams, forgotten within hours of waking, never do. This distinction offers something genuinely useful for anyone trying to understand their own dream life, since not every dream deserves the same kind of careful attention, and learning to distinguish between the two categories can help a person know when a dream genuinely warrants serious reflection and when it can simply be noted and released without excessive analysis. An ordinary dream, reflecting the ordinary concerns of personal daily life, might offer genuine and useful insight into a specific current worry or unprocessed feeling, but it rarely carries the same weight of universal significance that a genuine big dream carries. A big dream, by contrast, tends to announce itself to its own unmistakable qualities, an intensity, a strangeness, and a lasting impact that distinguish it clearly from the ordinary traffic of nightly dreaming, even without any formal training in dream interpretation. Jung believed that big dreams deserve particular and sustained attention precisely because of their deeper origin in the collective unconscious, the layer of the psyche shared by all humanity rather than confined to any individual's private history. A big dream, properly understood and properly attended to, could offer a person genuine access to patterns of meaning and wisdom that reach far beyond their own personal circumstances, connecting the dreamer's individual life to something considerably larger and considerably older than their own private concerns. This is precisely why traditional cultures treated these particular dreams with such reverence, understanding intuitively that something genuinely important was being offered through them, something that deserved careful attention rather than the quick dismissal an ordinary dream might reasonably receive. There is a genuinely practical value in learning to recognize the difference between these two categories of dream experience in your own life. Most people, waking from an ordinary dream about a mundane daily concern, correctly sense that the dream while perhaps mildly interesting, does not require extensive analysis or prolonged reflection. But when a person experiences a dream that carries this different and unmistakable quality, imagery that feels mythological rather than personal, an emotional intensity that feels far larger than the dreamer's ordinary daily life would explain, a lasting impact that persists for years rather than fading within hours, Jung's understanding suggests this deserves genuinely serious and sustained attention, precisely because it may be offering access to something the ordinary traffic of daily dreaming simply does not carry. This does not mean that every unusual or vivid dream automatically qualifies as a genuine big dream, and Jung was careful not to inflate the category so broadly that it lost its genuine meaning. The distinguishing feature is not simply vividness or strangeness alone, but the particular combination of qualities traditional cultures had already learned to recognize, a sense of significance and weight that reaches beyond the dreamer's own personal concerns, connecting to something that feels genuinely larger, older, and more universally meaningful than an ordinary night's mental processing of daily life could ever produce on its own. Think back on your own dream life and consider whether you have ever experienced a dream carrying this distinctive quality, an imagery and an emotional weight that felt genuinely larger than your own personal daily concerns, a dream that has stayed with you for years rather than fading within hours or days of waking. Traditional cultures would have recognized this as a genuine big dream, deserving of careful attention and even, in their understanding, a kind of sacred protection from casual, dismissive sharing. If you have ever had a dream that felt like this, carrying a significance far beyond your ordinary daily concerns, right below the single word for the image or feeling from that dream that has stayed with you the longest, naming it honestly even years later is often the first step toward finally giving it the serious attention traditional cultures believed such dreams genuinely deserved. Because the distinction between ordinary dreams and genuine big dreams, which traditional peoples understood intuitively long before Carl Jung ever gave it a formal psychological explanation, points towards something worth taking seriously in your own inner life, that not every message from the unconscious carries the same weight, and learning to recognize the rare ones that genuinely do may be one of the most valuable skills your own dreaming mind has been quietly waiting for you to develop.